This place is beautiful, Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Hogy tolja neki?
Let us find someone who could help us.
Ez igen. Itt a gong. Hopp. Itt vannak a törött genyek.
Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. A fragment of a flower pot.
Oh, oda minden. Hát itt vannak eldugva.
The Kew Gardens symbol.
Szenvedted? Azért annyira nem nehéz a Jackson. Nem. Azért tud az bacó lenni.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock.
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance, do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcome you are. To introduce myself, I am the Green Grand Mystic.
Annyi.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
Be van tépve. Túl sok ópiumot szívott. Hát a counterpickelnek akkor minden szar.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate. Glory to the eukaryotic.
Átestem a kerítés.
Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom. And to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
A Niviát, na hát egy helyes döntés hoztál, én úgy érzem.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Ajaj. Nem tudom mi a neve annak a izének.
Green Grand...
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Jó tetted. Random flower pots. Várj, most megkeverte. Ja, oda van írva, hogy
Our God
God King.
King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh la, good, I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation.
I like you.
I
like you.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Jó.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy they are.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search? Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Ennyi.
Well, we will leave you to your
Ez történik,
meditation.
amikor összevesznek a botanikusok a növényeiken. Ellopták a mieinket, ellopjuk az övéket. Ez kulcsa van zárva. Na,
That
mondom
should
én.
be the raw sap that the Green Grand Mystic spoke of.
Be van tépve, ez mondom én.
It is rather delicious, and of an excellent quality.
My word, Holmes.
Kokain.
Their sap is like a form of cocaine.
Ennyi. Ezt halúzik, figyeld, az is be van tépve.
Praise the grand tree, praise it!
Az.
This must be Triwan, the Divine Syndicate's god.
Ez az.
This door is locked, but I can try to open it.
Sima. Jóha. Várjál. Így. Elvileg. Igen. Jawohl. Jó, legyél majd.
These instruments are used for smoking opium.
Na, ott az ópium.
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens. That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments. A vast amount of opium.
Unalmukba elkezdik itt pucolgatni a növényt, aztán kész is. Na, ez megvan.
A tropical plant. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. These 3 plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them.
Azt ott el is vitte.
A tropical. A tropical. A tropical. A tropical.
Mindegy, most már megnézem őket, hogy... Hoppáka.
Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them.
Azt is elvitte. Visszük itt a növényeket, meg a kukacokat, meg a mindent is.
You came to make a donation? Glory to Tree One!
Jó van, haver.
The list of plant friends and benefactors. Lawyers, well-known manufacturers, political leaders.
Szerintem... Vagy nem? Oké. Hűha. Bitch. Jó, azt kell állítani. Nem, bakker. Ezt persze próbáltam, jó. Jó, menjünk vissza. Azért benézzük meg ezeket a...
Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
Nézzük meg azt az alkoholit szart, meg a kacokat. Ez mi a szart csinál? Ez... Götz.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Na jó. Nem lehet... Ja. Megbökködjük a virágokat.
It appears to have fallen inactive after being disturbed. No reaction. My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it with a pin. I imagined that its reaction would be ferocious if I increased the strength of my attack. My word! It shot a spike at me. My word! It shot a spike at me after I stabbed it.
És hogy növelem az erejét a támadásomnak, úgymond? Hello? Csak behúzzam magát, azt se.
It appears to have fallen inactive. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid.
Nem szeret az alkoholt se.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
És hogyha most szurkálom meg? Ah!
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
Nyissuk csak ki. Ez egy alkoholista növény, ezt szereti.
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
Megdobálok én ilyen... Az anyád.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more.
Nyissuk csak ki. Jó, nézzük meg, hogy erre, hogy rábaszok
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it.
Ne szedjé.
I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating.
És hogyha még öntök rá ilyen szart, akkor mi van?
No reaction.
Mit mondott erre?
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it. It appears to... It appears to have fallen inactive. It closed again. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it. I am in...
Ha ezt én itt fogom, ráöntöm, utána...
It appears to open after being soaked.
Ezt megbököm, Visszateszem, és gyors rátesszük ilyen. Á, nem lehet. Azt hittem össze lehet. De akkor mégis mit kéne? Várjál?
How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I am interested.
És mi van, ha én ezt... Aha. Figyelj, da. Ott van a...
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary.
Juhu.
The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
Mhm. Okay. Messzi van.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father. So it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Persze.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
Ajaj, itt ez mi volt? Francba. Na még egyszer.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
Nem, bassz meg.
There is a bust of...
Mi a szar az a bust?
Bust? Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
Jó.
It is strange. because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the colonial collection room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently. Can you tell me if you saw Mr. Montague Dunn on the day of his death?
Yes, of course. I met him, and we went to see Albert, his son, at around 9:30. He appeared quite calm.
What were you doing on the morning of the accident?
After paying multiple visits to Albert, I had a little talk with Miss White. Then I returned to my desk to complete some paperwork. Suddenly, I observed that Mr. Dunn was not feeling well, so I ran immediately to fetch Albert. I clearly remember that it was around 10:30, for I was late that morning.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
Persze.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Your father's death does seem highly suspicious. What were your movements here on that day?
Suspicious? Well, I was working in the seed house, taking care of Lysa something, or Lear Pontus, or... No, wait. Ah, these Latin names. And I spent so many hours trying to memorize them.
Did you see your father that day?
Yes. He came here with Mr. Hamish for his weekly visit. There was nothing unusual about that.
And then?
Nothing. They stepped out to the backyard. It was perhaps 20 minutes before 10 o'clock. Then about 10 minutes later, I saw my father heading for the dry tropics room while Mr. Hamish returned here.
And Mr. Hamish and Miss White, what were they both doing that morning?
Mr. Hamish visited me a couple of times. I also saw him returning from talking with Miss White, and that was at 10 minutes past 10. But then he ran back here to me to tell me that my father was feeling unwell. We hurried across to the water lily room, and I found my father lying dead on the floor. Oh, my God.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Soon. Good. Beszéljünk még azzal a nőszemélyel.
Seed.
Szevasz, genyó! Milyen szűn?
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can. But there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And that was the last time you saw him.
Soon.
Yes.
Ja, hogy
I
úgy...
stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Nem tudom, miért van az,
Thank you,
több
miss.
személyesnek jelzi, az nem az.
Everyone has gone,
Na,
Holmes.
most
The way is
megjött a
clear.
sötét boss Magyarországról orosz kiírása. Na várjál, most miért jöttünk ide? Lemaradtam, passza meg. Másra figyelek. Ó, igen, jó. Jó, itt ez volt az első. Ez a második. Ki ez a jány? Hát a... Miss White. Igen. Itt nem lehet azt kijelölni? Ott fent, hogy onnan jött a cuccos. Ott megkapta a vizét, a gázt vagy az akármit. Megbökte a növény, aztán ez itten rendetlenkedett az ajtóval egy sort. Igen.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiment on the ventilation system.
Na végre. Szóval itt van ez a fos.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct. Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Jaj, na. Magába beszél a nyomozó. Ő csak ki akarja. Na bazd meg, elindultam a másik irányba. De jó. Megyek már. Igen, ott megy végig. Ezt eddig is tudtam, csak kellene hozzá az a puzzli. Szerintem. Ja nem kell hozzá.
The power is on.
Így van bekapcsolva. Ja, így van.
The engine cannot be started.
Akkor így.
The engine has started.
Fuck yeah. Ja, nem. És akkor?
The ventilation system is working.
Oké. Úgy. Így van. Hát ez Sherlock. Sherlock Holmes. És honnan kerülnek bele ezek a... Ezek. Cuclik. És simán ezt beindítottuk, és most megyünk vissza Watsonhoz? Na, megyünk vissza Watsonhoz. Nem hallottál a nagy Sherlock Holmesról? Nagy hiba.
Water lily.
Nem. Nem igaz.
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
Oh.
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system. Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one. We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window.
Oh, innen pont rá lehet látni. Nagyon jó, és van a másik hely, ami nem itt van. Nem. Nem, itt van. Ami itt van.
This is one of... Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
Jó.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out, by activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
Na de várjál, a kis csaj az a laborba volt, nem? Vagy a kis csaj azért dolgozott. És hol az Isten? Megint elindultam a másik irányba. Szóval a kis csaj az... Várja. Nursery. Ez a Hamisnek a cucca. Igen. Innen lehet rálátni. Jó, oké. Pofász. Igen. Az Albert azt mondta, hogy ő itt dolgozott. Akkor ő innen kb. Lófasz nem látott. És a kis csaj pedig... Várjál, nem, a szart. Albert volt itt. Nem, a Seeds Roomba. És nem a nursery. Hol a lapa? Na jó, mindjárt kitaláljuk. Ez micsoda? Ajaj. Some deadly imprecision. Történt. Az. Igen, ez haragudott rá, rendben. Igen. Legyen. Hát a killing. De nem tudom mennyire volt mennyi az motiváció arra, hogy megölje az apját. Nem, fucker. Mit nyomtam? Valamit random benyomtam véletlenül, nem így akartam, mindegy, meg lett. Összekötötte azt is. The Vincent left the plants no garden in order to murder. Igen, nem. De ezt már egyszer behúztam. Igen. Could be the killer. He had the opportunity to steal the divine singer. Affect the arrest of man. De szerintem nem egyedül nem tudta csinálni. Albert is not very good at botany. It is not for learn how to plant might lose their spring again. The plant knowledge to stimulate the deadly plants. Stall parts exhibition, igen, nem. Jó. Igen. Acquired at the university might not enough to guarantee correct reaction to deadly plant. Nem. Igen. És akkor ezt tudta, hogy ketten csinálták. És hogyha így választom ki, akkor mi van? Valamit még nem találtam meg. De ezt nem lehet, hogy egyedül csinálja.
Let's go to Scotland.
Akkor indult be a cucc, amikor mind a kettőt beindítottuk. Hol a kis csaj? Ja, ez most sehol. Én le akarom csukatni azt is. Hát valami nem lett ez. Last in order. Nem. Ez itt a végére, még lemaradt valami. Na genyó. De emiatt egyszerűen nem lehet semmit ezen csinálni. Olyan nincs, hogy mind a hármat lecsukjuk. Na jó, nem érdekel. Albert az egy gyökér, az biztos nem tudta, hogy kell ezeket. The Deadly Parts, igen, ezt onnan loptál, ez rendben van. Igen. Igen. És amúgy ennek meg lenne a biológiai tudása, de mindegy. Jó, arrest. Kapjuk el akkor ezt. Én szerintem amúgy a többi is benne volt, de mindegy. Honnan szedtem? Mi szökött meg? Na, lesz rád humügy.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send the lads around to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
A nő biztos benne volt szerintem. Na mindegy. Láttam, azt olvastam, de annak csak érdekes volt ez. Na lássuk.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Na. Large glass house. Az... Na várj, ez melyik volt? Hogy futottam izé? Watson. Ez. Aj, keci. Mozdulj már normálisan.
Holmes, my God!
Yes. We found him like that.
Our messing around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realized that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
Na hát az felkötötte magát. Ja. Vágom. Nem hozták le? Hogy az életet? Ezt tudtuk akkor nem hozták ide-vissza. Azért nem visszahozzák, és itt meg lehet vizsgálni. Általában Buda szokta bepakolni az ilyen hullákat, de látszik, ott levették és nem néztem be. Hátunk. Jajjam. Csak halnak a botanikusok. Na. Most szopat ez a játék, amúgy? Szivat.
According...
Ja, itt van a...
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
Jó. Mit látott én?
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case. Something about this rings very oddly.
Why do you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
Ahogy?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
The map at the entrance of Kew Gardens should help us with our
Gyanúsítottak
timeline.
igazából... Most
Let
ameddig...
us analyze the
Ja,
facts
igen,
and
most van itt
statements so that we may recreate the events of that morning.
Van egy tanítvány, akit így úgy segített a csávó. Van a fia ennek, aki meghalt legelőször, meg most meghalt ez is. Eddig ez volt a gyanúsított, hivatalosan, de egyértelmű volt, hogy segítettek. Vagy mások csinálták. Na. Jó. Igen. Ne, az Albert és a csaj volt igazából, mert szerintem. És akkor hogy kell ezt a szart? Ja, jó. Ezt csak így helybe kell rakni. Dry topic room. Nagyjából ott. Vagy nem. Marian Martin, Hamish and Montague went meet Albert in the seat house around 9:30. Igen. Akkor ez jön a 9:30-hoz. És akkor kihez rakjam ezt? Mindegy. Legyen ez. Jó. Akkor itt az Auron... Igen. Ez 9:40-kor, amikor elmentek hátra. Az ez. Jó. Don't recommend his instruction. Igen, ez volt a... Ez. Jó. Return to seat house. Hamish és White beszélgetett 10 órakor. Itt. Until 10:40. Precious Salt, Hamish and Albert in the Water Lily greenhouse and joined them. Ez 40 ide. Jó. Hamish ran Albert as soon as he observed that on his... Ez ide. Albert was in the seat house entire morning during the visit. Beside me, he observed him returning from visit. Miss White at 10 minutes past 10. Nem, itt megakadt, itt valami nem jó. Na, milyen nem jó itt? Hát nem feltétlenül. Nem, ez igazából. Várjál, itt akad meg. 10 perc. Igen, don't recount. Ja, itt return to seat house. Nem. Tropic room. Hamish return to seat house. Az anyádat. Valami jöttem. Ne. It's around the 20 minutes to 10. Hamish and Montague down went on to backyard. Okay. Itt kimentek, ez oké eddig. Igen. After 10 minutes. Ja, hogy oda fel is vannak írva, hogy micsoda. Ja, jó, az úgy jó. Csak így... Csak következtettem, hogy ezek ott mennek, jönnek. Igen. Ott megakad. Mert akkor ez odébb van. Albert was in the seat halting in the morning. He observed Hamish returning visit again. Miss White, 10:10. Nem. Igen, ő visszamegy, ő bemegy. A kurva élet, nem. So Hamish returning from visiting Miss White at 10:10. És akkor közben volt itt megmondálva. Nem. Basszus. Nem akar ez összejönni? Ez biztos, hogy az volt. Ez mi volt? Ja, ez volt a... Ja, nem néztem, hogy mi van ráírva. Mert ott ő látta, hogy jött vissza ezért csávó nőtől. Jó, ott megint megakad. Akkor egy... Ja, nem áll. Hamish ran to Albert soon unwell, which was... De pont jó, hogy nem látom. De amúgy ott 30 perc, jó. Lássuk. Elvileg most már jó kéne, hogy legyen.
Let us summarize. Montague Dunn was poisoned inside the Colonial Collection Room. He forced open the door, which means that someone locked him inside there at 10:20. Martin Hamish was last seen at 10:10. This means that he has approximately 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room. Given that he was club-footed, it is doubtful. Albert also has 10 minutes to lock the door of the Colonial Collection Room, which is quite enough time. Miss White was last seen at 10 o'clock, which means that she had approximately 20 minutes to lock the door. More than enough time.
Hárman gyilkolták meg.
Perfect, Watson. Now, let us ascertain who assisted Martin Hamish in killing Montague Dunn.
Albert was alone in the seat house after Montague had... Martin, Hamish and Albert do not unconscious unlikely. Albert would have the opportunity and 10 minutes would have not able to... Enough to lock the door. Albert and Martin accomplished 10 minutes enough to... Igen, az ide. Igen, és itt meg pedig missing 20 minutes it would be hand. Igen, Trent Montague. Alert a ventilation system. Volt elég ideje a nőnek, hogy... Igen, Miss White... Az anyád. Miss White is a dangerous woman, very capable of carrying, igen. Roger, igen. Danson, igen. And later past Martin Hamish to his suicide, she deserved a rope. Miss White and desperate woman in depth design. A fasz, elítéljük.
Elítéljük. Sok játék fasza, vannak jó játékok. Nem csak a Battle Royale, meg az ilyen szarságok.
But Holmes, how can you be certain that we'll find Miss White here?
It is obvious, Watson. Just use your brain.
I am using it. I do use it.
Now that the rope has tightened around Martin Hamish, Miss White must act to erase all traces of her implication. After the suicide of her accomplice, there is one final trace remaining, the deadly plants of the Divine Syndicate. She will be there.
Very good. Shall we go?
Just one moment. Now listen to me, Watson. I shall see her alone. You will conceal yourself behind her, quietly.
Whatever are you planning?
Nothing spectacular. The impulses of women have always been a mystery to me. But she is a bold one, and so we must be cautious.
All right. You can count on me, Holmes.
Na. Kapjuk el.
Mr. Holmes, good day to you.
You do not seem surprised, Miss White.
Well, I was expecting you.
Not for too long, I believe. So please tell me, as it is still unclear, who planned the murder? Was it you?
You were wrong, Mr. Holmes.
It was Martin Hamish, then. You managed to convince him to take on a more prominent role.
You could not be further from the truth.
You think that you can fool me?
You don't care what I think.
It is difficult to care about someone who is capable of pushing a man to his suicide. It is over, Miss White. The police will be here any minute.
Over, perhaps. One moment you were here, and the next, you were on the other side.
The other side? No! Stop!
Na.
I beg you not to do this, Miss White.
Don't come any closer.
Igen.
Please remain calm. We can help you.
Not one step further. Don't try to stop me.
Stop this foolishness. You cannot truly want to die.
No, it's too late.
It's too late. Azt kapd el.
Well done, Watson. She was not faking.
Miss White, you have no right to take your own life.
Dr. Watson? Did you just save me? Or worse?
Be van az lőve ez a nő, én mondom. Ennyi. Megvan.